Hi guys, so I've already gone through texture mapping 1, which was your basic application of shaders, texture mapping 2, which is your neon shaders, and now I want to go through texture mapping 3, which is creating your own shaders. Okay, so before we start doing anything Atlantis, what we need to do is open your Finder window. Okay, and we want to search in your Finder for a folder called the Advent folder. Okay, and you'll get a whole lot of different options, and you can see that I've got a folder up the top here called Advent. Okay, so what I did was just clicked and dragged it onto the side here, and you can see it that it's already there. Once you've located that folder, I want you to click on it, and you'll be taken, and it says there's a folder called Atlantis in it. Double click on that, and then you can see we've got these options of media, postcards, and scenes. Double click on media, and you'll see that there are all different options of the media from the media catalog. What I want you to do is right click, and we want to create a new folder. Okay, new folder, and then you can start typing the name that you want in it. Okay, please call it My Shaders. Okay, so you will have an extra folder called My Shaders in your media folder. Okay, so that's the first step that I want you to take. Okay, so locate the Advent folder, navigate through it until you're in the media folder, and create a new folder called My Shaders. Then what I want you to do is pop to Google, and I want you to search for a cracked paint texture. Remember, making sure that we're choosing a large image size. Okay, so I'm going to choose this cracked paint texture. Okay, and I would right click on that and say Save Image As, and as you can see, I've already saved it to my desktop. There it is. Okay, so make sure you know where that file is. Okay, so now we're going to start creating your own shader. So in order to do this, you need a basic backdrop to apply them to. So as you can see here, if I click on this wall that I'm facing, it's telling me that I'm in the kitchen, living, dining wall, and I've applied the basic shader to it. Okay? So I've just got an underlying option there. Okay, what I'm going to do is come over to the layer, and I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to say Create Shader From. And this will give me options across the top. Now what I can do is if I open my Finder again and navigate to where I've saved that, size of the image that's actually gone in. The preview is the size that it's displaying on the screen in front of us in the preview display. And then we have our reflection, shininess, bump, normal, alpha, and then these options over here. Okay. So our reflection and our shininess are the options that talk to us about how the shader or the JPEG that we've just imported will react to light. Right, so you can change the shininess and the reflection in these options when you're setting up the shader. Okay, so in these options when you're setting it up, this means that is how the shader will always be applied when you apply it. Then we've got our bump and our normal. Okay, so this simulates, just the bump simulates the bumps and wrinkles in the surface, then, which in this case, as it's cracked paint, would probably be quite high. Then we've got our normal, and this talks about how it reacts with the flat polygons that we're using. So at the moment, it's totally fine. 0 is good. Okay, and then we've got our alpha, so it simulates a surface with holes. And then we've got these options here. So this is the arrangement of the shader tile. Okay, so if I click horizontal flip, we can see that the way the texture is tiling is different. Or if I clicked vertical mirror, you can see hopefully in the preview display that it's different again. Alright, I could do Fresnel, which creates like a glass effect between the different options, and it gives it a bit more reflection. Okay, so this is how you can create your own shader. When you are happy with all the options that you've created across here, okay, you can click Save As. And by doing that, what I want you to do is navigate to your Advent folder, Artlantis, Media, My Shaders, and then you can name it what you want. So I'm going to call it Cracked Paint 2, okay, and just click Save. And that automatically creates it as its own shader. You can see here now, when I look at my layer, it says KLD Wall Cracked Paint 2. And I can still change the reflection and the shininess and the bump. I could even change the rotation if I wanted to. I could increase the size so it just took up one wall. Okay, so there are heaps and heaps of options that you can do with this, okay, by putting in your own texture. I've done some others before that you can see down here. You can do the same thing with objects, inserting your own objects, which we'll do later on. But say I've got this green marble texture, I'll show you that applied. So that's one that I created, green marble. You can tell because there's a spelling mistake. And that was quite a large image, okay? And it's really nicely showing on the wall right now. I can turn the shininess up if I wanted to. Could make it super duper reflective. Could make it completely transparent, which means we can see the brick wall outside, which is not really what we want. Okay, so there are heaps of options, and again, you can still use the color mixer, increase the size, the shininess, the reflection, all kinds of things. The projection talks about how the material or shader is being projected onto the wall. So if you wanted to change that, you could do that also. So really this is just for you to play around with. But it means that at any point if there is a shader that you don't have in, or you can't create from the media catalog, you can create your own, which I think is pretty awesome. And it works in the same way. Okay, so that is how you can create a catalog. a shader from a JPEG. Sometimes you might want to add your texture to the media catalog. Okay, so that they're always popping up down the bottom here, like mine are. So in order to do that, we need to open the media catalog window. Okay, so if we pop down to our bottom right hand corner, we can see that there is a rectangle that says open the catalog window, and I'm going to click on that. Okay, and we can see that there are lots of different options here. You can add a folder by clicking on this plus folder button. So and it will open your computer, and you can go to the Advent folder, Artlantis, Media Catalog, and you can click on My Shaders. Okay, and then open, and it will add it to your Media Catalog. Okay, and you can see that mine is here. Okay, My Shaders, and I can see that I've got Cracked Paint 2 twice. Okay, because I've done this a few times now. So this is where they come from. Alright, so now it has been added to my media catalog, and so every time I add a new folder to My Shaders, it should come in. Okay, automatically. You can see I've also got some objects here, so I've brought in 2 different types of couches, a light bulb and an eagle. Okay, just because I could for fun. Alright, so that is your third option. Okay, so texture mapping 3 is creating your own textures. And you can see that it looks good. Okay, I quite like it, it's fun. Thanks guys.